talking about investing, Tesla. Will Tesla hit $1,000 per share? Um, is that something that could potentially happen in the future? And there's a lot of calls inside of for Tesla, like some top Tesla investors, for Elon to step down.
Told you.
So, what's the deal with Tesla?
Will it hit 1,000? I love Kathy, but no, unless. Remember when we had the conversation about should it be a luxury car brand or should it sell to the middle and profit margin concerns? And everyone's like, no, the word to scale, the automotive, see, is through low pricing. It has not worked out for majority of car brands. Great exercise. Go look at how many car brands that sold a low price vehicle, how many of them went out of business in the last 40 years. The salute didn't help, even though he was giving out his Care Bear love to everyone. No, I don't see Tesla hitting 1,000 anytime in these next 4 or 5 years, even with the relationship that he has with the president and in that office, unless they get new leadership. And I'm going to be very honest. Tesla had a moment where it was like Tekashi was the new hot thing, and it was like, whoo, this may work despite. Those Teslas don't look as attractive as they used to. And I told someone this over the weekend. If you just compare BYD versus Tesla head up, and you took the logos off of them, the BYD cars look way better.
They're cabs. Teslas are cabs. Every Uber's a Tesla.
And once they got reclassified,
they're yellow cabs at this point. That's what they are.
But true.
No, I'm saying if you get an Uber, 9 times out of 10 it's a Tesla.
It's Tesla, unless it's the one with the little Gulf wings. Other than that,
or the Cybertruck.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah. And one of the things that I used to have a lot of pushback on was not upsetting certain audiences. And I'm like, but what's the risk to reward ratio? Like him doing that and having that moment, was it worth the valuation that he lost? No, it's not. Is it still a leading American brand? Yes. But is there too much risk on a table for it to get to $1,000? Absolutely. I don't see it within the next 4 or 5 years. And I've been long Tesla for at least 6 years. It's still in Xander's portfolio to this day, but I don't see the upside potential for it to get to $1,000 or even $700. You have to be beloved amongst the fund of funds, the pension. Like right now, could you put Tesla inside of a pension? Fund to fund, if you were like running a fund for,
and the thing about it is that people have to stop saying that Tesla is a tech company. It's a car company
with some tech in it.
89% of his revenue comes from automotive. Him trying to do robotics, him trying to do all this other stuff. Tesla at its core is a car company, and it's losing its competitive edge in automotive
in that space.
And he's trying to divert attention by doing robots and focus on what's important. And they're losing that battle. China is a major market for it. They're going to lose China completely eventually when China mandates that you have to buy their electric car through electric car companies. They are not selling as many cars as they were before. He's tarnished the brand dramatically. They have a lot of problems when it comes to selling cars, and that's what they are, a car company.
Well, they get put in the growth category because of the technology, right? So it becomes the autonomous driving, it becomes the robotics, it becomes the AI agents. The interesting part is like, if we can't see it go to 1,000 in 5 years, let's think short term, because earnings season kicks off pretty much this week. They report tomorrow. We heard everything you just said. I was going to mention. Do they drop sub 200 here? Right, when we're talking about, yes, the China market decreased. BYD has taken over that. They've dropped 18% there. We've seen that domestic sales have gone down for the first time. We saw them at 479 in December. They're down here about 224. Are we looking sub 200 by the end of the week? I mean, is it?
Should more than likely. Ultimate price, well, I would like to get them at is 125.27. But could they be sub 200? They could be sub 200 possibly by Wednesday. So net profit margin is 7.3%. When the net profit in 2023 was 15.5%. So you don't want degradation of your brand. When you do a SWOT analysis and you put weaknesses and threats, you usually don't want to have a country that is upset with you. And then you don't want to upset the majority of your base as well while the profit margin is going down.
Right.
For everyone in the comments, this is not our take on something. I want y'all to stop talking about takes and look at the facts. If they had a profit margin of 15 or 25%, that would be great. But he's not delivering on them robots or that autonomous bullshit dream he's been selling.
Exactly. All that shit is bogus.
Get the fuck out of here, yo.
Yeah, that's supposed to happen in June. We'll see what happens with that. But you take into the fact with tariffs, and that's going to affect them for sure. You take into the fact where you drop the price of some of these vehicles, and then those vehicles don't sell. So you're missing profit margin in, and then the affordable vehicle that you're going to put out, you've now delayed. So like all these signs don't point to something that's positive. But we've seen this before, and that's the tricky thing. Like we've seen this before with Tesla. Everything is mounted against it, and then the stock performs after earnings. I don't know if that happened.
Was there quantitative easing during those times or not?
Even like 2 quarters ago, this happened, and it was like, wait, how? And they were like, oh, the robotics that's supposed to come out next year, and it was like
fake news.
Exactly, but investors believed in it, and that's the crazy part.
You only gonna have so many tricks up your sleeve until you realize that you're bluffing. All robots, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. What do you have right now today? Robots and autonomous driving and 18-wheelers that drive themselves. None of that is happening right now.
If he made an autonomous baby making factory to the moon, my boy, that's not it.
He's selling promises of things that may never happen. What is currently happening right now is concerning.
When he has Grok, which is a great product. And let's not forget that OpenAI got stolen from him as well. So there's some tech promise that could have been implemented inside.
Autonomous job is happening.
But he also stole Tesla.
Well, he bought in.
Yeah.
No, he stole it. He brought in the company for $6 million. Then he did an aggressive takeover and forced the founders out.
He bought it.
No, he had an aggressive hostile call it a hostile takeover. He had a hostile takeover.
Yeah. But prior to that, hostile takeover.
He's an investor.
Yeah.
So he stole Tesla.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah. A raider. He was a financial raider.
Yeah. No, I said some of the things ours is like the robotics. Like again, when you the price for that. Who is your client that is going to facilitate that type of revenue that you're going to need from that type of robotics? The autonomous driving thing is real. Like they have that now. We're starting to see more. In Atlanta, we see it. San Francisco, we see it. Will that spread domestically? Who knows? Having a partnership with the Uber makes sense, obviously, for the reason that you just said. Like every time you see it, you call it Uber, and it's a regular one. It's going to be a Tesla that picks you up. How long will drivers not be in those cars? We don't know, right? But right now, the way things look, this looks like it's going to be a negative report. We'll see what happens. Tomorrow after close.
And in the robotic space, they have a hell of a competitor in General Dynamics. Nowhere near close. Like they are. And their stock is still doing incredibly well. At 271 last year, had a high of 316. Quiet company. Most of the Terminator-esque looking robots, that's their technology and actually works.
Barbarians at the Gate is a movie that everybody should see that explains what we call corporate takeover artist. That actually documented the 88 leverage buyout of RJ Nabisco. I think the lead character in that movie is Danny DeVito. And it shows you how sophisticated Wall Street insiders, investors come in and they take over companies.
Private equity?
By force. It happens. It's a real thing.
Carl Icahn was... A lot of it doesn't get talked about, but one of the reasons why Apple ended up being a favorite publicly traded company was because of his involvement with it.
Yeah. Create the board. Board may vote you out.
So Elon, back to Elon. He's not traditionally an innovator. So this is when you have to start innovating. The only car that he ever designed was the Cybertruck, and that's the most recalled car in American history. He never designed the Model S. He didn't design the Model T. He designed the Cybercar. That's his baby. That is the most recalled car in American history.
Well, I can't say he's never innovated.
What did he innovate?
in terms of
Starlink.
with that, but in
You gotta give him
early
credit for
days,
Starlink.
before PayPal was what it was, that was a combination of companies coming together.
Peter Thiel.
No, but there was two companies that came together to form PayPal. So he was innovative in those days.
But
Yeah.
Has he been innovative?
But he wasn't an alpha in that
He
PayPal
wasn't-
store. That gets
he
revived.
wasn't the brains behind the operation.
I didn't say he was the brains. I said he was innovating
I'm thinking
in
as
that
far as a
process.
creator.
Create a product.
A creator. He's not a great creative. He's not a great creative.
Oh, he created a lot these last 6 years, yo.
Some of them,
Van Gogh.
Some of the last one, he said he wasn't even sure. He don't even know if that's his creation.
Could be
Oopsie.
alleged. Could be.
Yeah. So hopefully they right these wrongs and make the company better. But I said maybe 6 months ago, he'd go to being chairman, and this won't even be his main focus. I got a lot of pushback. I'm gonna say it in the comments, and I know y'all don't like when I get on my little rants. Stop pushing back on a space that you did not know about prior to 5 years ago.
We'll see. We gotta see. I did the talk
Chairman
around
time.
charging stations and the rechargeable batteries. It's kind of died down a bit.
The
You don't really
solar
hear it anymore.
bullshit.
You know what I'm saying? All that is just like he just saying anything. Solar panels. Oh yeah, they're a tech company because they're gonna have solar panels. Didn't work out. They're gonna have robots. They're gonna have self-driving cars. They're gonna have pizza.
All great ideas.
It's not happening. He's coming up with all these ideas and none of them are happening.
But I will say, out of that portfolio, Starlink is the brightest star in that portfolio galaxy.
And he's gonna ruin that by his actions. He already lost 200 billion through Carlos Slim.
Yeah,
when he aggravated him and he canceled all his contracts in Mexico. It's only a matter of time before he pisses people off globally.
We gotta see SpaceX as well. We'll see. Government funding. You gotta call the Doge people.
And he's gonna hurt himself with that because there's going at some point in time it's going to be a democratic regime that comes in.
Yeah. That's what I said. The government funding might look different.
They're gonna have revenge, payback for what he did.
He can go do what Zuckerberg did and just go buy a house out there and go get some money and say I'm sorry.
And it didn't work for Zuckerberg. He still got to go to. He's in court right now.
I know. Shout out to my boy. My God.
And he still got to go in front of the court.